And good Friday evening, everybody. Happy to be with you here on a night that hopefully will have a good turnout. A little bit different night, got some changes coming up. We're going to be talking a little bit more in depth about D23, some of the other theme park news that's going on. Hoping my power doesn't blink because we got a pretty good thunderstorm going outside. And looking forward to having some fun tonight. Get those questions ready. I got a little bit of mail and got some other stuff I'll be chatting about. So we're going to have a good time. Well, welcome everybody. I am happy to be here on a Friday evening. Craig is already throwing bait at me to try to get me to sing. Oh, it is going to be tempting. Just remember, may spontaneously break out into song. So I am excited. Had a video last week that talked about the D23 announcements. I want to talk about a few of those a little bit more in depth, including the ones that you want to talk about. Excited because, hey, Rachel Cooper is here for the first time. Awesome. Welcome, Rachel. And then, of course, Tom is actually going to be here this evening because he doesn't have anything competing. So it's nice to be able to do it on a Friday night. Got my regular schedule set, changed a little bit for work, and so some free time. So I'm excited. Craig, never should have said that. Oh, yes, you should, Craig. I am sure we will have some point this evening to be able to break it out. But it has been fun. We are getting ready for some big changes in a few months here. And in the process, it means cleaning up and organizing. So you can see I've got all this stuff sitting on my table because I've actually started cleaning out files and emptied out a half of a file drawer of different stuff that I've just been keeping since like elementary school. It's sad. But yeah, who cares about that? You don't want to know about that. But we are excited about some things coming up. I do want to talk a little bit about timelines and what will happen in the future. Like the D23 news. We've got some news coming out of Cedar Point and various other things. So let's hit the Cedar Point thing first. Top Thrill Dragster 2 has opened up this year and then promptly ran into some issues with the trains. And they announced just a little bit ago that it's not going to reopen this year. It's going to be next year. I really kind of feel bad about this one. I've actually got a friend who is on Zamperla's executive committee. Actually, when I first started getting into roller coasters, he was just a regular guy like me and has moved his way up in the industry. And so I was super excited when they opened this. And yeah, it's just been a problem. So I kind of feel bad, but they want to get it right. They want to get it open. They want to do things. So they're now looking at next year for it. Hopefully, when I get back from my big trip, we'll be able to hit it, but we will see. Let's see. Rachel, just discovered the channel recently. Watched the old videos all the time. Sent an email with a funny theme park story. Not sure if I received it. I want to say I did. Now you got me wondering. I feel like I've seen it. And let me see. Yes, here it is. Let's see. So, if it's okay with you, Rachel, I'm going to share it because I've got it right here. At Magic Kingdom in November of 2016, it's a surprise for my best friend's mom for her birthday. It was her visit with your now retired service dog. I remember reading this now. After a fun evening riding several rides, Pirates of the Caribbean was her favorite. We went to see Mickey back when he talked, and finally Tinkerbell to end out the night. My girl, the dog, was so well behaved with meeting Mickey as she'd seen the princesses prior to this. Rapunzel thought it was adorable. She laid on her feet and got good photos. We got to Tinkerbell after asking my permission, of course. Tink kneels down to say hello to Aya, my retired service dog, and she jumps on her. I love when service dogs just get so excited. Of course, me never having had a service dog in the parks before, I'm standing there with this look of sheer terror on my face, telling the dog to get down off of Tinkerbell and thinking we're about to get kicked out of the park. But Tinkerbell was loving every second of it. And kid you not, every single person in the room went, "Aw." absolutely love stories like that. And she did actually even send the picture. So I'm going to drop that up here for you if that is okay with you, Rachel, because I love stuff like this. It's just such a neat little deal. So here is Tinkerbell and the dog. Uh, when we were shooting, we would love when service dogs came in. Of course, they were working, they were busy, and everything else. But the dogs, a lot of times, would have fun, especially with Pluto. My goodness, the dogs were crazy for Pluto because it was a big dog. So we always had fun with them, especially when people said, "Yeah, go ahead, play," and let them come off duty for a little bit. So service dogs are great. They are better behaved than a lot of the guests. Yes. So no worries about your service dog getting out of line. You can tell an actual trained service dog, and they're not a problem. So thank you so much for sharing that, Rachel. I appreciate it. So there you go. Uh, let's see. Do I think Disney would mind if I bring my service gator snapper? Yeah, that one might not get in. So legally, service animals are either dogs or, believe it or not, miniature horses. Uh, Outside of that, you have people with service cats and stuff. Not according to the ADA. But I got so excited about this, I knocked my remote on the floor. That's funny. So, but yeah, great story. We love stuff like that. We love when people would have their service animals come through, or special needs, or things like that, because it was something special. It was something exciting, and you knew it was going to be a great moment when you saw it. So, no, thank you so much for sharing. Those are some of my favorite times when we saw stuff like that. We have fun. Especially when we could let the dog off duty for a couple minutes so we could actually pet them. But so yes, got that. Let's see. We talked about Cedar Point. Merger is done. Six Flags is instituting chaperone rules now, kind of like Cedar Fairs. So you're going to see that taking place. If you are not used to the chaperone rules and you're used to going to Six Flags parks for Halloween, be aware that if you are under, it's 15 and under, you've got to have somebody age 21 and over with you. That's probably going to be at all the Six Flags parks. So let's see. Planning to visit Silver Dollar City in about a month. What is your opinion on the new Fire in the Hole? Did you not see my preview video? I actually was at the grand opening, got to shoot on ride. They shot it for me. I love it. Absolutely love it. It is not the same as the old one. It is a little bit more comfortable. It's a little bit smoother, different storyline, but I think they did an amazing tribute to the original. And yeah, it was just, I absolutely love it. I've been on it about a half dozen times now, and yeah, go ride it. There have been a very small handful of people that have not liked it, and that's because they want the old one back. And the old one, just there was no way it was going to be able to stick around, let alone come back. But no, it's a great ride. Absolutely great ride. I think they hit that one out of the ballpark when they did that. So, Mike, he's going to make this a tough one. Who is the best character to work with, take pictures of at Disney? So that's almost a favorite. And I don't do favorites because it's just too hard to pick generally. But I can tell you a number of characters. I love working with the troublemakers. So Donald, Chip and Dale, Vidya of the Fairies. I never did get to work with Anastasia and Drizella. I would have loved to have worked with them. I did get to work with Cruella DeVille a couple times. So the not necessarily the villains, but just the troublemakers, the obnoxious ones, they were the most fun because you could play with them. You could pull great reactions out of them. They would do stuff that wasn't planned. Stitch was another one. Stitch was always creating trouble. And we had a ball. So, like with Donald, because Donald had this rivalry with Mickey going on, we enjoyed pointing out anything Mickey. Hey, Donald, don't you love his Mickey shirt? Just stuff like that. It would give the character something to play off of, and we'd have a great time. So, troublemakers, far and away. And in fact, if you look at my pin collection, there's a couple characters I focus on, Figment, but I have a lot of Donald and Chip and Dale pins because they are the two characters that Donald was the very first character I ever worked with. Chip and Dale were right behind him, and if I had my druthers, I would go back and work with them all the time. So I love it. Have I ever been to Hollywood Horror Nights at Universal? Best friend was scared of the idea when we went for the first time. Now she's hooked on going each year. I am not a big Halloween horror in the parks kind of person. I much prefer the family friendly ones. So Mickey's Not So Scary is perfect. SeaWorld had a great deal. I think they've got the horror nights now too. But the family friendly things are the ones that I like. I'm not into the scares and the blood and the gore and monsters and stuff like that. Just not my thing. And I know some people love it. Good for them. I just never have. I want to go play. Um, so yeah, it's just never been my thing, um, and that's okay. I know some people have a great time with it, and I'll go other times, or I'll leave before it starts. So, let's see here. Let's see. Disney trip. We're taking the cover for the gas fire pit. Fits over the scooter. Keep it dry if it rains. If it rains in Disney, it always rains in Disney. Um, you're still in rainy season. Not until October will you start hitting dry season. Just expect it to rain. So good idea to bring the cover. Let's see here. The new Fire in the Hole visually and music sounds are much better than the old one. Um, Generally, yes. Everything in that regard is great. The only thing I think it fails at audibly is when you hit the drops, the fire in the hole is not as loud and energetic. That's the only thing I think it's a little soft on. Other than that, I think it was perfect. What was the scariest moment on the train that I could talk about? I don't know that we necessarily had a scary moment. Um, we did have one time that I was out robbing the train. We had gone out by Moonshine Stump, waved at the train as it went by, walked down to the tracks, waited for it to come in, waited for it to come in, waited for it to come in. Train's not coming in. Where's the train? Um, and we did, at that point, we're starting to wonder what happened, and walked up the tracks, and it had thrown a rod. Basically, one of the cotter pins that holds the rod on the wheel, the part that does this, had snapped off and got loose, and the rod itself came off the wheel, dropped down, and dug into the dirt and stopped the train in a big hurry. Nobody hurt. We never, very rarely did we actually have injuries, and it was usually because somebody fell. But that was probably the scariest thing, and just for a moment. The other one would have been at night. One night we had finished up. It was during Moonlight Madness. The train was coming around. I was riding on the back of the train as the last conductor for the night to pick up the train robbers. The robbers had gone out where the old wreck was to turn off the lights there for the night. And as we pull around, we come up, we're supposed to stop and let them get on and then get going again. As we pull up, they're yelling, "Don't stop, don't stop." And they jump on. And it's like, what's wrong? Mountain lion. Apparently, there was a mountain lion in the woods. So they were a little scared. Get moving, get out. That probably the two scariest things I could think of. So let's see here. Any special recommendations for going November 19th through 28th? Is that Thanksgiving? Oh, that would be my one thing. I think that's Thanksgiving week. Okay. So you're going to be there on one of the busiest days, busiest weeks of the year. The parks will probably be closing early. Not as bad since they kind of limit the attendance now, but be at the park before it opens. Be there early. That first couple hours is going to be your golden time to do anything and work that lightning lane system, because the lines are going to be long for everything. Everything. Just be prepared for lots of crowds. Pre-order your food in the app. Use Lightning Lane to book your rides. Go see shows that have lots of crowds. So, yeah, that just be prepared for lots of crowds. Mike, what do I think about the rumor of Muppets 3D being eliminated in favor of Monsters Inc. Land? Okay, so let me come back to this because this is a D23 thing, and this is one of the things I wanted to talk about. So at D23, when they made the announcement for Monsters Inc., they pulled up this picture here. Let me get this thing popped up. This is the picture that they showed. And if you look at this picture, this looks like it could be the animation courtyard. This would be where D23 is, and that would be, what was the Star Wars launch bay. So it looks like it could be animation courtyard. They actually, at the last minute, had substituted in for a different picture. And let me show you the picture that they were going to show and it didn't, and why there is so many people upset. This is the picture that they were going to show originally. That one looks like Streets of America, Muppets Courtyard. Because if you look, that could be Pizza Rizzo right over there. This is why people are concerned. So this picture very much looks like that the Monsters Inc. is going where Muppets are, and that's what the problem is. Honestly, I have a very I struggle with this because I've got mixed feelings. I love Muppets. Muppets is one of my favorite attractions. It's Jim Henson's last thing. I think Muppets should be preserved somehow. At the same time, this is an awkward, dead area of the park. So it needs something. I don't think it should be Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc., I think Animation Courtyard, it can tie right into Toy Story Mania and Toy Story Land and kind of give you a Pixar area of the park. I think that makes sense. But at the same time, I think Muppets is going to be doomed. You've got Star Tours on one side and Galaxy's Edge on the other. I don't know why they don't automatically think Star Wars, expand Galaxy's Edge, and make it connect. That would make sense to me. But I think Muppets is on a short timeline. I don't think that it's going to have much longer of a life. And truthfully, it doesn't fill the theater anymore. It doesn't get the numbers. It never has a wait. If you're looking for things with capacity that are going to pull people in, it's not doing it at this point. So as much as I love Muppets, and trust me, if you've ever been to the park with me, I know the whole show by heart. I quote it, I sing it, I do the whole bit. I don't think it's going to be sticking around that much longer. So that's kind of what I think. I think that they should do more of a Star Wars replacement for it, fill it in, give us Coruscant or something else. But I have a hard time making the case to keep Muppets outside of my personal desires. So let's see. What about the time I saw a Bobcat at Silver City or when the shotgun mount broke? Okay, so the Bobcat didn't actually scare me. It kind of startled me a little bit. I was blowing the dock off before opening one morning, and saw this cat come out of the woods. I'm like, "What's the stray cat doing here?" And oh, that ain't no stray cat. That's a bobcat. And stepped into the break room, came back out, and it was gone. The shotgun falling off. That was more worried about. Okay, I make sure nobody finds it. It wasn't loaded, so I wasn't worried about that. Didn't have to worry about anybody shooting, but you don't want anybody playing with a real shotgun. And so, yeah, that was the worst part about that. Really was doing the show as a conductor with no gun, and the robbers knew why I had no gun, and they were going to get me. And one of them had pity on me, but that was the biggest thing I was afraid of: was what are they going to do to me? So, but yeah, that's that they made me a little bit nervous, but not too bad. So, what's your worst breakdown on the train? I actually told you already. When it dropped the rod out in the woods, that would have been the worst. So, let's see here. Oh, Mickey Bunch. Would recommend taking time to visit the resorts. Thank you for that. Duh. Great way to avoid the crowds in the parks and still have a ton of fun. Go resort hopping. Um, Absolutely. Go see the gingerbread house at the Grand Floridian. Go see the giant trees over at Animal Kingdom Lodge or Wilderness Lodge. The carousel down at the boardwalk. There is so much going on at the resorts during the holidays, and it's just a ton of fun. We would go and not go anywhere near a park. We'd spend a day or two just hopping around the resorts, park at downtown Disney, hop a bus over to one of them, and then you can ride the buses, you can ride the monorails. It's absolutely free. So yeah, definitely go hit the resorts, and then at the end of the night, watch the fireworks from the Polynesian. So great suggestion. Thank you, Mickey Betch. So let's see here. Um, if they try to get rid of Muppets, can we sick Miss Piggy on them? Oh, that would be fun, but um, it's going to be one of those things that, like I said, I hate to see it go, but outside of my personal preference, I can't see a good reason to keep it. I'm much more upset over the Rivers of America. That I think is a huge mistake. That is not understanding the whole point and purpose of why they are there. And it's all thinking about big attractions and now cars should go behind Big Thunder Mountain into that area. I don't think I'm hoping they're uh, listening to the feedback and the flack that they're getting about that because removing the rivers for a ride does not understand the atmosphere of it, the aesthetics, the history, the purpose. So, yeah. But Teresa, it was devastating when they took the Muppets out of California. Again, the hard thing there, because I can remember going to the theater and there was nobody going. Uh, and it's hard to keep an attraction if you aren't getting the people going. So hopefully, with all this news about the Muppets, the crowds will start going and they'll pick it up and they can decide to keep it. Um, but that's a lot of it. Is if you've got an attraction that is not getting people to come ride it or see it or do it, um, then at some point, all right, what can we put in that's going to actually have something that people want to do? So that's basically what it comes down to. Let's see. Rachel, um, I think Iger is an idiot who doesn't care about the history Walt built in the parks. Iger is better than Chapek on that, but what Disney needs is they need a dreamer. Iger is still a retail guy, and we really need a dreamer back in there again. Back when Eisner first came in with Frank Wells, between the two of them, they dreamed and they kept that vision. And I think that's what they need. And instead, they've got peanut counters. And it really needs somebody to look back and say, hey, their attendance numbers are starting to drop. Their profits, the parks took a 3% drop in finances last year. That's huge. Their penny pinching is catching up to them. And a lot of it, they need to come back to the guest services. They need to come back to the experience and they need to remember what built the parks. And yeah, they're not doing it. A lot of people like Josh Chamorro, but Josh Chamorro under both Chapek and Iger has been right there with the penny pension stuff. So, I mean, he hasn't spoken against it, not at all. Mike, always wondered how often they clean the furry characters' costumes. So hot in Florida, they must sweat. When it rains, it doesn't even need to rain. So they do clean those costumes on a very frequent basis. If it's not, I would be surprised if it's not nightly. But they do get turned in every single day, and they do have machines that clean them out, take care of them. So, yeah, they do get taken care of. It is not. In fact, I'd be shocked if they don't clean it nightly. So, Um, Rachel, I agree, but only marginally. Yeah, as far as the Muppets thing go, I know it's hard because I have to. There's two sides of it. There is the emotional attachment side, the traditionalist. That's Muppets. You keep it. You can't get rid of it. But then there's also the pragmatic business side. Walt himself said that he would never be done updating or plussing the parks. So, and at that point, it's not carrying its weight. And they have let that part of the park slide. Honestly, it the Muppet store is closed, the murals are gone, and it's really sad. So, um, Walt personally designed Tom Sawyer Rivers in California, and if you think every Magic Kingdom park, Disneyland Paris, Magic Kingdom Tokyo, Shanghai, they all have a Rivers of America somehow. Um, but there is another issue too with Rivers of America. It has been leaking water, lots of water, for a very long time. And so part of the decision, I think, is well, it's going to cost a lot of money to get this thing fixed. It's going to cost a lot of money to redo the whole thing too. Uh, yeah, I really wish that they would um, redo the rivers. Disneyland has redone the rivers a couple times to accommodate Galaxy's Edge and a couple other things. You could do the same thing in Florida. So, yeah. Those two are they're frustrating um, because I know what I want and I don't know what's going to necessarily happen. But um, Monsters Inc. put it over at Animation Courtyard. I do know that some of the people in the offices there have been told that their time in the offices is stated. So that hopefully is a good sign that it's going to go over there, but we will see. So, and Mike points out something very true. Disney doesn't know what to do with the Muppets. The show they've produced, the characters, all the things are out of character. This is Brian Henson as much as anything. The one show that they did do was the Muppets Haunted Mansion. That one they nailed. That was penultimate Muppets. That was perfect. Absolutely love that one. But some of the other things, yeah, the whole TV series was just bad. They forgot that the Muppets are the innocents. So, um, but I would like to see him do something else. Let's see. Who has made the 10,000 tour guides? Ever chat to one of them? Do you think he'd make a good one? Oh, okay. So you're talking about the plaids. So they have always had these private tours. You can go in and pay a chunk of money, have one of them escort you. They'll make your dining reservations. They'll get you onto the rides. It's essentially like a prepaid fast pass for everything. Uh, and I have known a couple of the tour guides. We had a couple of photographers that transferred over into guest relations and then got to do tour guide. I would have loved to do it. That was kind of the prize position, but they were very, very hard to get. But I would have loved to do it. I kind of sort of did it when I worked there, in that if I had friends come in, I'd meet them at the park. I might get them in, and I'd take them through the parks. And at the time, paper fast passes. I get your fast passes. I get them through, and I get them on as much as we could. So I did sort of do it, but I didn't. We couldn't get skip lines the rest of the time. But I would have loved to have done it. It would have been an absolute kick and a half. But they, especially with the lines and stuff, it's a steep price. But if you can afford it, I can absolutely see why you would want to do it. Uh, I mean, with the wait times and everything, man, if you can get there and not have to wait, and some of the people, the tour guide kind of becomes part of the family, eats with them, hangs around with them. Others, the tour guide drops them off and lets them go. There's actually there's a wonderful book out there written by one of them. Let me see. Uh, I'm trying to remember what the name of it is offhand because I've read it. And I'm getting all the burn bombs stuff. But I actually read it online, and let's see here. trying to remember what it is. Um, do, 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 do. And I'll have to think of it later. I read it in digital form, so I don't have it on my shelf. Uh, that's going to drive me bonkers now. Let me see. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to try to pull this up. What was the name of this book? Try one other thing here. Oh, pulling up all the other ones except the one I want. Yeah, I'm gonna go blank on it. Oh goodness. I will try and pull it up and see if I can't drop it in later. I can't remember, but it was a great book. It really was. So I'm sorry. Uh, I got a couple other here too, but thank you so much, Shaq. This fan hate to see Muppets leave Hollywood Studios, kind of on the line with Tom Sawyer Island. Yeah, getting rid of the legacy of Henson and Disney. It's hard because Hollywood Studios is no longer the studios park. It really isn't, and it's frustrating because the park doesn't know what it is anymore. And with it not being studios, where does that fit? So, um, you know, yet they want to honor Walt's legacy. See, the problem right now is the people in charge of parks don't understand Walt's legacy. And so they don't understand the overarching theme of the parks and the overarching purpose. And so they end up in weird places. And that's why you've got a park like Hollywood Studios that makes no sense, and California Adventure, which makes no sense because the theme of the parks isn't there anymore. And so then you kind of go, well, how is the Avengers part of California Adventure? Cars, okay, kind of a little bit of a stretch, but Pixar Pier versus Paradise Pier, why Pixar instead of a beachfront, which is California? And just lots of things like that. It's like you're looking at this park and you're going, how does it tie together? It's just random stuff, and they're going even further with it, and it kind of drives me bonkers. So, uh, Brian, replacing old rides other than nostalgia is their inability to consistently make good attractions that don't break all the time. This is something, though, people are much more aware of breakdowns now than they used to be, simply because these things, and they're getting reported immediately. But Disney has always been about cutting edge technology, and so any ride, the first year or two is basically working out bugs. That's just standard stuff a lot of times, unless it's a simple ride. And Disney doesn't do simple rides. So they're constantly innovating, constantly new systems. And so those things take time. If you play video games, how many patches do you get on a new game over the course of a year fixing bugs? And it's the same kind of thing. So it's a hard thing. Do you want cutting edge ultimate thrills, or do you want simple? If you want the cutting edge, it's going to come with downtime. So, Craig, play tour guide with your friends, do admissions, fast passes. I'm skeptical. I mean, who does that? I don't know, Craig. Kind of. I don't know. It's actually been really fun when I go with Craig in that I can let him play tour guide. I don't have to do it. It honestly, I love it. That's one of the fun things about going is the pressure's not on me. I can just worry about filming. So, but yeah. So, let's see. My channel's one of the few I can sit and enjoy with my daughter Moxie with no worries about inappropriate content. I appreciate that. That is my goal. Is I want kids to be able to watch it and have fun. That's why I try to be careful too about some of the behind the scenes stuff too. So, um, yeah, just I wish that's why I said you need the dreamer in there to vision cast, to remind people of the purpose and point of the parks, to give them an overall theme. And oh, so here's something just totally random. Uh, Going through all this old stuff and old papers and everything. So back when I taught high school with these students that gave me the nickname, I also played laser tag a bunch, and I found my old membership card. There you go. So that will tell you how far back that nickname goes. You can see the date on there. Yeah, I've been Willow for a long time. So, and Ryan, they don't understand shoving a character on a mediocre ride doesn't make it good. Um, yes, people come to Disney to see the characters, but they also come to have experiences and memories. And that's why the Rivers of America and Frontierland doesn't need a character. It tells a story all of its own. And you look at a lot of Walt's original rides, they didn't have characters. Jungle Cruise, Haunted Mansion, Frontierland, Space Mountain. None of these are IP rides. And people going, well, what's wrong with IP? Nothing's wrong as long as it's done correctly. Ratatouille in France at Epcot is a great example of IP being done correctly with a focus and a purpose and a point. But you don't do IP just for the sake of doing IP. So, yeah. I, for one, welcome the Six Flags Magic Kingdom. Yeah. Yeah. Craig brings up another one Pirates of the Caribbean. Um, all these things were not IP when they were put in. Many of them have been turned into movies and other stuff now, but they weren't at the time. They didn't need it. They were a whole thing of their own and brought on a whole life of their own and fit into that area. I mean, hey, if you go down to New Orleans and you're out in the area, what are you going to run into? Pirates. Makes sense. Frontierland, you got a runaway mine train. Makes sense. Or a log that's floating down the river. They all flowed out of the theme of that area, and you didn't have to have a movie for it. So, and I mean, it's fine if you've got a movie that's doing well that would fit into an area. Okay, that makes sense. But you don't make IP just for the sake of making IP. So, yeah, and Tweetsy. When I was doing the college program, I always said, doing this for the guests, not Bobby Iger. Yeah, they've gotten away from that a little bit, but that's very much what you need to keep focused on. Does the Rivers of America run above the utilidors and they're leaking? So the leaks are not into the utilidors. The utilidors do not go all the way under the Rivers of America. They only go under a small part and just enough for them to be able to get out to the island. I think it's actually just one little tunnel that goes out there, if I remember right. So no, there's not a whole lot of utilidors under there. Most of that water is basically leaking straight down into the underground water down there, where it naturally is, anyways, because Florida floats, or goes back out into Bay Lake. So yeah, they do have leakage, but it's not going down into the utilidors. Do I miss the great movie ride? Yes. I miss a lot of the stuff that used to be at MGM Studios. It's still MGM Studios to me. Yeah, it was a great ride. And it fit the whole theme of that place perfectly when it had a theme. So, speaking of IP, wish they would retheme Galaxy's Edge to the original trilogy. My deal with Galaxy's Edge, you've got all these different time spans. You've got the original trilogy, you've got the Clone Wars era, you've got the new trilogy. You kind of need something that can encompass all of it and either do different parts of it that are different time or just make it generic where any of it can fit in. And I think that would be appropriate. I actually really like Galaxy's Edge the way it is now. but it needs to have a little bit of freedom where you're not stuck in one timeline. Because certain groups of people my age, we all want to see Darth Vader, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca. You get people that are my kids' age, and they're wanting to see uh, the old Obi-Wan Kenobi, uh, the Emperor as he came in. Um, okay, come on, brain, turn on here. But they want to see the characters from the prequels, and that's what they're looking for. And then the more recent ones, they're wanting to see the new characters. So you really need something that can work with all of them and allow those characters to all be able to come out. So, yeah. And that's my thought. So, if you go back even and you look at like Star Wars Weekends had all the characters from all the eras all together, and it worked because that was just fun. But yeah, so Cars in Frontierland just doesn't feel right. I absolutely agreed with you, totally and completely. Uh, they have talked for a long time. Excuse me, adjust my legs about the land behind Big Thunder, and I always thought that would be a much better fit for Cars Land. And then the whole villains thing, they're not even giving you details. We'll see if that ever even happens. But absolutely, absolutely would fit better there because then it kind of flows out of Thunder Mesa and it would work much better. So, let's see. Diz fan hoping they would announce something about the old Star Cruiser. I don't know when they will ever do that, but if they could have made that a little more inexpensive, I think it would have done better. I don't think they gave it a fair chance. I really don't. But yeah. So let's see here. So I'm seeing lots of people agree with me on Cars Land and on Star or Galaxy's Edge. Let's see. uh, this is cute, Mike. That would be kind of funny to have X-wings. The only problem is Disney policy. If it's sticking out of the chair, you can't do it because it'll knock into people. But so let's see here. Agreed. Separate it from the rest of Frontierland. Build a bridge over the Big Thunder service track near the Splash Mountain restrooms. Allow the cars to be its own mini land. Yep. And you can actually do it in such a way, kind of like they did with the Morocco Pavilion, where it blends in with Tower of Terror, or the Tower of Terror blends in with Morocco. Is you could do your sightline angles. So if you're in Cars Land, the top of Big Thunder sticking up and blend in with Cars Land. It could be done. It really could. Yeah. All right. So I do have a box here. I want to catch this. It says, "Hi, Sir Willow. I hope you enjoy this mishmash of things I picked up for you over the last few months." Craig. Yeah, I didn't have a package from Craig last month. You're busy. Okay, so let's see here. We got several things. Ooh. Speaking of Star Wars, there we go. And since Grogu and Mando are going to show up on the Millennium Falcon now, California Adventure Map, and then Fun Spot America. So cool. Thank you. Yeah, I don't have updated maps for California parks. And then let's see here. Where do we start? Oh, this is kind of cute. So it's a lunch bag, and actually, I need this for work. So there we go. Let me get that handle up. So we've got Cheese Mart. I don't know. It kind of makes me think of VeggieTales. What was it? Shop Mart. Madam Blueberry. Okay. Let's see. Pikachu Master. Hopefully it's not Pandora's box. You know, sometimes with Craig, you never know. Let's see. Pamphlet from when you were at the Golden Ticket Awards. What I wanted. Yes. I don't want to sound greedy, but yeah. So, Tom, by the way, daughter's trip there is honeymoon. Bit late to rearrange because it'll be busy. They ain't going to be out in the parks that much anyways then. Tell them to wear the bride and groom ears. It will help them out a lot. It definitely would. Let's see. Tweetsy, still be interested in collaborating, talk about time during Disney College. Absolutely. Drop me an email so I can connect with you. I would absolutely love to do that. Yes. Yes. Oh, and by the way, yes. So there we go. Holiday World. So, Craig, you didn't tell me. Did you enjoy it? I saw some of your pictures and stuff. But did you like Holiday World? I love Holiday World. Keep. I gotta get back to Holiday World again at some point, but it's gonna be a while. Holiday World's a wonderful, wonderful little park. So, and the Voyage is just amazing. Didn't you like Voyage, Craig? I'm sure you loved Voyage. So, why does Disneyland Tokyo get to keep their Splash Mountain? Because Disney does not own Tokyo. The Oriental Land Company owns Disney Tokyo. They are the ones who make those decisions. They're the ones who make those calls. And they can basically say, hey, you already gave us permission to build this. It's staying. Pretty much. So that's why Disney doesn't have full decision-making power. So what's a performer schedule like? Like the Toy Story Army Men Drummers. Depends upon what they are doing and how often they're doing it and where they're doing it. Generally speaking, when you see a performer, they do their show, and then after that, they're on break until the next show. And a lot of that is because, especially if they're out in the heat in those costumes, they're sweating up a storm. So, and that's true for anybody in entertainment, whether it's the characters you meet or whatever. So, and and Justin Crede Silva is like, hi. But no, you definitely with the heat and everything else, you get the break time in between. Some of that's union rules, some of it is just taking care of the performers. So, generally, I'm considering returning to work for Disney. Okay, so I get the God's calling thing. So here's one thing to keep in mind: if you are thinking about working for Disney or do work for Disney, you need to be very careful about what you say online, because Disney does watch stuff. You don't want to reveal anything that would be inappropriate. So, but no, we can still definitely talk about some things. So, would love to do that. Let's see. Went to Holiday World for the first time this summer. Absolutely loved it. Awesome. Like I said, I love that park. Other than the train Silver Dollar City, what's your favorite theme amusement park train ride? The one I'm on. There's so many good ones out there. Knott still does the robbery. Dollywood has a great train ride. There's a lot of very good train rides. Cedar Points is really good. I just enjoy riding trains. So, let's see here. With Space Mountain and Magic Kingdom closed, does that affect the People Mover ride? Probably not. It depends upon what they are doing. Normally, if it's just regular refurbishment, then no. People Mover will still be open. They will put boards up over the glass windows that look in so you can't see what's going on. But other than that, no, it stays open. So, but if they're going to do a major rebuild, then it might affect it. So, Craig, thought Holiday World really like Gobbler Getaway, which, yeah, it's a fun ride. Drone Pyro Show, I did not get to see that. Good Gravy was neat. They had some decent regional shows. Theming was a lot of fun. Food was yummy. They got great food, free drinks. So, all right. Well, and speaking of Good Gravy, there we go. So, Good Gravy wasn't there last time I was there, but yes. So thank you, Craig. That'll definitely go up on the wall. And then again, Good Gravy. So awesome. Let's see if I can get that to focus a little better. There we go. So thank you for those. Whoa, I just dropped one here. Pick it up. That's kind of cute. Fish Days. Okay, so that makes me think of this really bad song. Fish heads, roly poly fish heads, eat them up, yum. Okay. Don't ask me why that one came to mind. Uh, sorry, Craig. Oh my goodness. That I have not seen this pin. That is an amazing pin. That is really cool. Yes, Tom. Not just singing, but a really bad song to sing to. And then a mystery pin. Let's see. How do you think Disney will handle the crowds for the new nighttime parade? So one of the things they're talking about is the fact they're going to do two parades. That is a good thing. The daytime parade right now only has one, and that's part of the problem. Uh, which I wish they would. Hello, when I worked there, they would do the daytime parade at least once, oftentimes twice, and then the nighttime parade once or twice. So they would have three and sometimes four parades a day, and that allowed people to spread out when they would see it. And so you didn't have these ridiculous packed crowds that didn't move. Um, it, Crowd management, hello. But yeah, they uh, common sense stuff. So they have said that they're going to have the nighttime parade twice a day, though. So I think that will help it out a lot. And they're going to have to keep people spread out and not there. Sit on the sidewalk, but people got to be able to get through. So Craig also sent me a mystery pin, and that is what was in there. That's a cool pin. I don't know if I have any from this series. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think I do. I think I do. I have to look up. So the series is you can see the dog collar, and it's actually different dogs from different movies. So that is a really cool one. Mike is being crazy there. Okay. So if you don't know, Craig buys a lot of fireworks from Phantom Fireworks. He's spoiled us a couple times in the past. That's where that comes from. Phantom for President. That's a cool shirt. So, I may pass that one on to my son because my son this year took on the pyromaniac duties of setting off the fireworks. So I officially got to turn it over to him after years of me being the one blowing everything up. So here's a fun little deal for you. We have this deal every year, no matter what. We have one firework that always misfires and shoots at the people watching. Never fails. Uh, whether it tips over or whether it blows up. And so we've moved to this house and we've got this real nice big backyard with a deck with a fence around it. We're like, hey, it's going to finally protect everybody. Shoot off the fireworks, and there's a fence at least. Well, sure enough, the first year out here, we had one with 9 shots that the first shot blew out the bottom. It fell over and it started shooting up the street into the woods and then shot 2 over the fence. So this year, we actually go through, and my son and a friend are setting off the fireworks, having a good time. We don't have any problems at all. Everything works. So we're going, this is the first year ever we didn't have any misfire. And then they go, oh, wait, we got one left. And it's one of these spinners that flies up. Sure enough, it starts to fly and pops and right at the house and just misses me. It was like, last one. Had to have one. so, so Chris, when do we move to Israel? So here is what is happening with that. We are in the process of raising our funds so that we can afford to go. Once our funds are fully raised, then we can book dates. We are hoping to go end of December. We will see if that works out, but that is the plan currently, is end of December, and we will be there for 2 years studying Hebrew. And then I'll be shooting videos and stuff on the side as well. That's what we're hoping to do. If we can get the monthly support that we need to come in, then we get to go. If we don't, then it gets postponed again. So that's kind of what we're looking at. We are actually our weekends here because I travel around, and this is where I what I speak about is here help us out. I've only got like 3 weekends open between now and mid December, so we are booked. We're out speaking and sharing and talking about it, which is a great thing. Um, but that is what we're hoping is we are hoping for end of December. So a couple more stickers. I still got stuff here in this box from Craig. So and yeah, Mike, you had to say they all worked. Yep, I we jinxed ourselves there. So Holiday World still has park maps. Yay for Holiday World. And then the Pixar Fest at Disney. So I hate that all these places are going away from the park maps now. So here's the Wisconsin Cheese Mart, world famous Wisconsin cheese. There's a story behind that. But the menu, cheese are partially why we ended up at Crane. So Back to the Future, the musical. I didn't know they had a musical. That's kind of crazy. I would love to see that. That might be fun. And then there's one more thing in here. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, this is cool. All right, so Hawaiian shirt. This is nice. With Picasso's Starry Night. Doctor Who style. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. Oh, so this will be one that my whole family's gonna like. Cool shirt. Thank you, Craig. Picasso. Van Gogh. Thank you. Did I say Picasso? My wife and I were talking about Picasso the other day, and that's why it's stuck. Yeah, Van Gogh. I know better than that. I'm not a total dork, just mostly. I know that. That's embarrassing. Oh, yeah. I thought you might like that one. Oh, yeah. I like that one. Absolutely. So I just can't believe I said Picasso. So is the artist on the shirt made out of craft sticks? No, this one actually. Okay. No, the one made out of craft sticks is the one. Let's see here, right there. That's it. But thank you, Craig. That's a great variety of stuff. Some very cool things in there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So I just need to blow that up for a dartboard. Then I'll sing to it. 1, 2. Oh, that's sad. Okay. I will. Is it sad that I make myself laugh? Everybody else is like, the dude's just losing his mind. So I started combing my hair the other day and went, my hair's receding. My wife laughed because she's always had thin hair. It's like, you're finally starting to lose it. I'm like, no. So, but, any other questions? I'm still really wishing I could um, remember what that book was. Let's see here. That is just going to drive me crazy. Do, 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 do. I'm still looking here because I feel like I should have it there and it's not coming up. Let's see. There's the Skipper stories. Do, do, do. And it's just going to drive me bonkers as to what that book was. I wish I could remember. Oh. Boo to singing and darts at my image. And yeah, the shirt is bigger on the inside. Yeah, it means it'll accommodate my. Okay, I need to shrink the inside. Oh, I I've got to go through and I got to figure out where that book is. Um, if I find it, I will try to post it in the comments below, and hopefully I can get it too. By the way, and let you know that I do actually have a new shirt up as well. So we did it based on today's video. So let me see if I can pull this stuff up here. But um, it was kind of fun because we had somebody mention the video. My son did this goofy thing at Busch Gardens when we were riding the Sky Ride, and so we kind of made a shirt based on that. He would yell out to people, "Ahoy, Captain Matey!" And it was just really fun. Uh, we got a good laugh. Ahoy, Ahoy, Mister Smitty. I'm going to get it wrong here, but we did get it right on the shirt. So we do actually have new shirts available in variety of colors and stuff. And so you've got the Ahoy, Mister Smitty. So you can be my son. There are different price points and other stuff available as well. But I did want to throw that up there because it was one of those. Somebody mentioned, "Hey, you ought to do that on our shirt," and my daughter went, "I can do that one." And so you've got the sky ride with the kid with the pirate hat on yelling outside of it. So I had a lot of fun with that one. So not telling you you need to go buy my stuff, but I do appreciate it when you do. So just watching one of your videos to saw you live. Hi from Europe, 3:30 in the morning. What are you doing up at 3:30 in the morning? My goodness, that I mean, even I sleep at that time. So, but thank you for joining me. Happy to have you. I don't recognize the name offhand, so I'm going to have to go through and look you up here. It's like, wow, who do I got watching me? Let's see here. Oh, fun stuff. Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to go back and check out your channel later. So I will definitely look forward to that. Thank you for joining. So, Craig, ooh, a new shirt. Yes, because Craig needs another shirt. So, yep, I'm right there. So, but I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So, um, Tom, there's a shirt weird enough for me. So, Mike, are there lines still in Disney for nothing when you and your crew made the line? No, they did close the park, so they ended the line. But you can still do it though. People, it's fun to set it up. If you get a big enough group to make a line, you can do it. I think we covered the couple things I want to talk about with D23. I am excited for the changes coming to Animal Kingdom. I think that will be cool. So that's one of the better things coming. Uh, Avengers Campus. I love what they're bringing. I don't think it fits in California Adventure, but hey, okay. Uh, the Monsters Inc. coaster, actually, I think is going to be awesome. They have been talking about doing this door ride coaster since Superstar Limo closed. It's been that long. So happy that they're going to finally do that. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what else there was that really sounded like it would be fun. Test Track is finally going to reopen here pretty soon and be redone and hopefully be much better. But yeah, I think Tropical Americas will be really cool. I would have liked to have seen Beastly Kingdom, but I think this is okay. My nephew did the wand thing at Ollivanders as a kid, and after being part of the show, you go through the gift shop, pay for the wand. Yes, my daughter actually got to do that. We happened to be there her first time. We happened to be there on a day that it was slower, and we went right to Ollivanders, and we got it was just us and one other group, and so we were all kind of going for her, and so they got her, and yes, she got her wand. You do have to pay for the wand afterwards. They are not cheap, but it is a very neat show. Absolutely. Um, I will say the Monsters Inc. land will be good if they don't go Muppet Vision 3D. I I love the ideas of the Monsters Inc. land and the ride. Just put it in Animation Courtyard. So yeah, that's basically what. And there's a lot of people saying the same thing. Animation Courtyard is dead at this point. It needs a filler. I think it'd be better there. So, my
stepped on a slug.
You stepped on a slug. Did you get it with a squishy on your footsie? Come here, Come on, lady. There you go. Okay, we gotta get the dog. Say hello for the last thing for the night. Say hello to the camera. Yes. Yeah, this is the 50-pound lap dog who thinks it's all about her. Huh. Okay. You gonna hop down? Goodbye. She is sniffing the Doctor Who shirt. If not Josh tomorrow, and it definitely would not be Josh tomorrow, who would you promote to Disney CEO? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't think Josh is the dreamer. He's a penny pincher. He puts on a great face, a great smile. He talks a great game. He kisses up and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm firing you, but you're fired, and I'm going to miss you, but I'm really not because I'm cutting your job out." Yeah, not my kind of guy. But I really don't know. They may have to do like they did with Eisner and Wells and bring somebody in from outside. Because at this point, I'm almost afraid that the Iger Chapek culture is too ingrained up near the top, and it may be time to look outside and look for somebody else. But who that would be, I don't know. But you got to you need a dreamer, a vision caster in there again. So, biggest lapdog is 130-pound Great Dane. This thing, so this one, I don't know if you noticed the small lead. If I'm sitting on the couch in the morning, she will charge down the hall and jump, and it's like a 20-foot flight onto my lap. Yeah, she's nutso. But she is a very sweet, sweet dog. But yeah, you get 50 pounds flying at 20 feet at you, it hurts. So, but thank you all. I'm honestly, I think I've talked about everything I had on my list. So I'm kind of run out. But thank you guys so much. I hope you all have had fun. I hope it's been entertaining and informative, and that I sent you away with a smile and a good thought and a blessing. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. May God bless you richly. Thank you so much.